everybody, welcome back to Jessica's Reading Room. My name is Kim and we're here with another book to film adaptation comparison video. Oh my gosh, every time I make a video doing this, I'm terrified that I'm actually going to say it wrong. Okay, anyway, so today we were talking about The Reader by Bernard Schlink. Ta-da! Okay, so I watched this movie years and years ago, like right after I finished college, and I realized that it was okay to watch rated R films. This one sounded fascinating, so I said, okay, I'll watch it. I remember the gist of it. Like, I kind of had it all down in my brain, but I don't think I ever realized that there was actually a book that it was based on. I didn't know. So when I was in Sanibel Island in Florida, I was visiting Macintosh Books, which is a really cute little bookstore. If you're ever down there, make sure you go check it out. And I saw this and I was like, oh, it's a book. Okay. So I grabbed it. And it's actually, I know I said this in my wrap up video, but it's a really, really easy book to read. I got through it in a day. Since I had already watched the movie before, I said, you know what, that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and read the book and then I'll rewatch the movie. So I guess I'll go ahead and start with the book review and then we can talk about the adaptation comparison. I actually really liked this book. It dealt with a lot of those gray areas that we don't really like to acknowledge actually existed in the Holocaust. But this one handled it in a very diplomatic and very sensitive kind of way. It's spoilers. I keep forgetting to say this at the beginning, so I'll just go ahead and say it. Spoilers. If you have not seen the film, if you haven't watched the movie, or if you haven't seen the movie and read the book, then you probably should wait, go do that, and then come back and watch this. Because I'm just going to go ahead and talk as if everyone has already watched and seen it. Okay? Good. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. You guys, this is what happens. I always save all of my filming for the middle of the night, and therefore my brain just stops working. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead and start with the book review. Like I said, a lot of really heavy stuff that, again, we don't really like thinking about because it's just so much easier to lump all Nazis in. You know, they're all murderers. They're all, horrible. They're all gonna burn in hell. And don't get me wrong. There's always going to be that part of me that says, honestly, if you were even associated with the Nazi party, that's obviously something that you're going to have to answer for. There were too many things that happened outside of the concentration camp that should have let everyone know what was going on. I get it. I totally understand that. However, looking at this, actually delving into the mindset of some of these people, it's an interesting look at it. Like I said, we're talking about these gray areas that, the lady, gosh, okay, hold on, let me make sure that I actually remember all the people's names, because you guys know me, you know how I am, and you know that I can't actually remember any of the characters' names. Okay, all right, Hannah, it's on the back of the book. Ooh, okay, all right, so Hannah, she meets this young kid. Okay, fine. There are also there are some gray areas. We're talking about a teenager who's having an affair with like this, older lady. So he's under 18. She's very obviously over 18. So, there's obviously some problems with that. There were some times when I was reading this, I'm just going, oh, okay, all right. That's nasty, but okay, all right. For all the eroticism, it was not actually the focus of the book. Okay, the eroticism was, but the major age difference between the two wasn't really. So this was not a book about, this lady who is having an affair with this super young kid, and we're going to talk about the legality of that and the morality of that. No, it was just kind of a foregone conclusion that this happens. Here are the results. So again, you kind of have to get over those kind of mental hurdles where you're just like, oh, ew. Okay, so then moving on from that, it is an interesting look into adolescence, into, you know, coming of age for a boy. I am so thankful that I wasn't a boy going through puberty. It was hard enough being a girl. Honestly, I can't imagine what it would have been like being a boy. But then with that, you then throw in the fact that Hannah was actually a camp guard at a Nazi concentration camp. And not only was she a camp guard, but she had favorites that she would bring in and treat them nice just to have them sent off to the gas chamber. And I mean, again, it's just kind of an interesting look because Michael, this boy who is, you know, who grew up, is now a law student, who is now watching this trial of this woman that he used to have an affair with back when he was 15 years old. And, you know, him thinking that he knew who she was. I mean, there's so much within this book that Michael ends up thinking, well, she was trying to make the last few months of these prisoners' lives good because she always chose the weakest. She wanted to make sure that, you know, before they were sent to the gas chamber, which they were inevitably going to do, they actually had some good last months. But then you go back and you look at their relationship back when he was a teenager and she was having this affair with this teenager. She was incredibly emotionally manipulative. And throughout this entire book, you know, you get to the end, you find out, spoiler, you know, she's an illiterate. No wonder she wanted Michael to read to her, you know, all the time. No wonder as a camp guard, when she brought in these girls who were too weak to work and, you know, actually gave them lots of favors in the months before they died, she brought them in so that they could read to her because she put such a value on literacy, and that being the main thing that she did not have. And I mean, you just have so many different little rabbit trails that go because, you know, there's a focus on her illiteracy, which is its own storyline. You've got the affair that Michael had and it actually affecting his love map and, you know, all of his romantic relationships from there going forward. You have her her guilt. You know what word that is. For some reason, I can't actually. Complicity. Ha! Okay. Her complicity in the Holocaust. How guilty is she? You know, was she actually trying to make these girls' lives, the end of their lives, good before they had to die? Was she not? Was it really just literally she just wanted someone to read to her and it's a quid pro quo situation where you do something good for me, I want to do something good for you. And I mean, there are just, again, you're just so many heavy topics that you're dealing with throughout this book, and yet I finished it in a day. I mean, it's such an easy book to read, and I mean, by the time I was done, I was like bogged down with all of these, you know, existential crises in my head, and I'm just going, really? You're just gonna stop it there? We're not gonna, you know, have this tome that's like this big so that we can talk about you know, these problems that you just listed out in this book? No, there's stuff that you have to think about on your own. And I mean, nothing about this book is black and white. And that's what makes it so interesting, is that this is an entire book of gray, where you kind of have to think your way through all of it and come up with your own opinion about everything that went on. So I really like this book. I'm pretty sure I gave it, I don't think I logged it. I think I gave it a 4. Because like I said, it's just kind of with the whole affair with the teenager. Other than that, I really liked this book. I thought it was interesting. It kept me engaged. I really liked the characters. So then I decided to rewatch the movie. So here is the adaptation comparison. Actually, they did a really good job. There's not a lot that I can actually remember with watching the movie and reading the book. Nothing major stuck out to me as being changed. you know, did they condense it? Yes, they did. Was everything in the book actually put into the movie? No. Now, was there a bit of a change with the illness that he had at the very beginning of the book when he first meets Hannah? Yes. In the book, he had hepatitis. In the movie, he had scarlet fever, which are two so completely different things, and I'm pretty sure that none of the symptoms are the same. I could be wrong. I'm not a medical person. I'm just going by kind of what I hear, because scarlet fever is literally strep throat with a rash. That's what I've been told. Hepatitis is this whole other thing, which I don't know. Okay, Ivan's not here. I've learned not to ask Ivan medical questions when reading a book, because then he looks at me and he's like, I have to do this at work. Do I have to do this now? And I'm like, yes, but I need to know. And so then it just, I mean, you guys remember he hated me reading 5 Feet Apart, because I asked him a million questions about CF and Beakopecia. So I may have to ask him about that and then come on here and like comment and say, yep, they're two totally different things with two totally different symptoms. Okay. Other than that, pretty much everything was the same. That was really the only major change that stuck out in my mind as, oh my gosh, they changed everything. So I loved the actors that they got. Kate Winslet was brilliant. Ralph Fiennes was in it. There's this random German kid that I don't even know what his name is. But I mean, he gave an incredibly emotional performance. He was able to play both the 15-year-old and a slightly older law student. And he did it very well. He did it effectively. And I have to say that a lot of the emotions that you get from the book also came out in the movie. Now, was the movie quite as heavy in all of these conflicting ideas and you have to walk away and think about everything? Not really. It was a little more about her trial as a camp guard from the Holocaust. That seemed to be the main thing. Obviously, the illiteracy was a big part of it. You know, and yes, his relationship with her was a big part of it, but it's just the main conflict seemed to be her guilt, you know, from actually being at the concentration camp, which was fine. Which, I mean, listen, you can't cover everything in a movie. I acknowledge that. That's fine. But when it comes to actually successfully adapting a book into a film, actually, the reader, they did a great job. I thought it was really good. I thought it was awesome. It's one of those things where I would actually suggest a lot of people go ahead and sit down and watch it. Because like it or not, there's a lot of stuff in the World War II Holocaust era that, I mean, it's not black and white, you know, and this story did a great job of showing that. So the book I gave 4 stars. Was it a successful film adaptation? Absolutely. Yes. If you have not read or seen it, then I've totally ruined it for you again. I did the same thing with the last one that I filmed. But if you haven't, if you somehow managed to miss all the spoilers, then please, by all means, go watch the movie, read the book. It's really great. I enjoyed it. There you go. All right, there it is. So if you have read The Reader, if you have watched the film, I would love to hear your opinions down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree with me. Tell me if you disagree with me. I'm all about a great rational debate. I'm really good at it. I'll try not to get all petty with you because I'm also really good at that. But, you know, like I said, I mean, listen, I enjoy making fun of people behind their back. You can totally make fun of me behind my back. That's how it should work. I would never insult you in the middle of a debate. Unless you use bad grammar, then I might insult you. But okay, all right. Rabbit trail. See? So what happens when I get tired? Maybe I should go get a corn dog. It's a good idea. I do love corn dogs. Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned on our channel for more content. We've got video book reviews and more book to film adaptation comparison videos coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, talk to us down in the comments. I love talking to you guys, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.